The show is about to begin.
Bregman flies the ball to right center field. Tavares on the move. It's over his head and bounces to the wall. Goes after the first one. Drills a high fly ball. Left center field. This game is tied. Hammered to left center field. Way back there. It is gone.
Let's talk ALCS Game 4. Astros, Rangers. It happened. It's over. We're going through it on FT Postgame Live right now.
You are now listening to Foul Territory. Welcome to the show.
Just get out of Houston. Get out of Houston. Just go right to Arlington and show them how it's done. The Houston Astros just never go away. I'm not just talking about in this series and in this season, Mr. Kratz. I'm talking about in this decade. They are the one squad. They are always in the LCS, and they're down 2-0, and they head over to Arlington, and now you're like, I think the Astros are going to win this series. I don't know. I mean, their offense is hot. It's Abreu and Jordan, and Bregman woke up. It's Hunter Brown looking insane later on in the game. Urquidy wasn't good, but battle of the bullpens, the Astros are going to win it, and I think the Rangers are just like, when is Jordan Montgomery pitching again? Is it tomorrow? No? Okay. What about the next day? Can we get Monty? We need you, dude. Can you go short rest?
Need it. They need it. They need it yesterday. They need Monty to go. They need somebody to step up. I thought when Seager hit that home run and tied this thing up, I was like, this is it. This is where the Rangers start the engine back over. And they just cruised to the World Series. And then for some ungodly reason, they just said, you know what? We'll get 2 strikes, 2 outs. We'll have a lefty that doesn't really throw too hard. And we'll make sure Abreu is the guy who beats us. Abreu sandwiched in between Tucker and Jordan. It's unbelievable. Dusty Baker just hits all the right buttons.
You know, Dusty is loyal. Dusty loves veteran players. And sure, maybe sometimes that can hurt you. Actually, I look over to the Mets right now, and since they had a bad year, some fans were like, oh, Buck Showalter's too loyal to veterans. I'm like, he's actually more open to younger players and rookies than Dusty Baker is. It's just that Dusty's veterans are playing better, and he's got a better overall roster, and that's how it's done. When Jose Abreu struggles for a while, then goes on the IL, and Alex Cintron, the hitting coach, sends him his career stats, and he's like, you're better than that. You were hurt. I know you don't want to tell anyone that, but you were hurt. Come on back. And now he's a stud, and this is why they signed him. 3-year deal, too. This is the first of a 3-year deal, and people were like, oh, they're screwed. What are they going to do? This is going to be such a mess contract. They might have to trade him or eat the money in the offseason. Shut up.
I mean, is that really kind of how the Astros season has gone, though? Didn't we all say, like, I think this is beginning of the year, you can't count the Astros out. Partway through the year, we can count them out. These Rangers, they are a good team. They're really good. They're banging the ball. I think we have a new sheriff in town. Wow, the Rangers made incredible moves at the break. Oh, good job, the Astros. You know, they got Verlander. Now it's 2-2, and you're thinking, they're going to do it again. How is this possible? How are they going to do this again? And right now, I have a hard time betting against them. And I think most of it is based on how trying to attack some of their better hitters here. I'm confused at how, yes, I get it. Like you didn't get beat with the long ball by Jordan, but he can't get 3 RBIs in any game. Like you can't choose. You need to set up how you're going to just walk him. Go to the next guy with a guy that can handle that next guy, that can handle Abreu. You're bringing guys in to face Jordan, and you're like, well, we'll get Jordan and we'll get Tucker, and that's how we'll get out. No, you're not. That's not how it is. Not going well for you in these last 2 games. And the same thing's going to happen if you just throw Monty out there with the same game plan. That guy cannot hurt you. He has 98 million RBIs in this series. He is carrying this team. I don't care that Abreu is player of the game. I don't care that he had the big 3-run homer that put the game out of reach. I really think it's the whole Yordan factor. And they're like, we're good enough. We're going to get him. You're not. Just be okay with the fact that you're not.
So does Jose Altuve run Globe Life? Like, I don't get it. I mean, he was cold. And also everything is small sample size in the playoffs. It's like when you say a player's cold, it's like they're cold for 2 games or something like that, or 3 games, you know? I mean, during the season, you wouldn't even say, oh, this guy's slumping hardcore in 2 or 3 games. It's just, that's how the postseason works. You got to figure it out quickly. Here, we're checking out some highlights, which starts with Bregman's triple to get the job done. And he's choking up, just looking to drive the ball out there, and ends up driving in a couple runs. And they knocked out Andrew Heaney after he recorded 2 outs. It wasn't right here, but it was soon after. I think it was on the walk after that. And then obviously Yordan Alvarez getting the job done too. But that first inning for Houston sent a message. And then look, they brought the fight back into this. Adolis with the dinger, and then some more offense in the inning for Texas. You know, the Josh Young sac fly, and then Seager in the bottom of the 3rd inning with the home run to tie things up on a first pitch homer to center field on a pitch, by the way, that was not in the zone. So here's Young, and then we'll get Seager, because that pitch was up and away, very up. I guess not that away, but it was above the zone. Is that not where you want the baseball to go if you're going above the zone, to try and get a swing and miss, to try and get a strike, a whiff?
I mean, they've been doing it the whole series. They've been doing the whole series so far. Urquidy he doesn't quite have the same up in the zone fastball as Javier does, but they were getting him a swing and miss, and he was chasing up, and then he was popping balls up. But to me, it's just a confidence in Seager to be like, okay, I'll make the adjustment. I'll actually hit one at my shoulders, and we'll be good. And I need the rest of you guys to step up, because I can't carry this whole team.
Biggest complaint from me in this game overall, and there's McCormick's homer to just put more icing on top of a cake that already was flooded with icing. But I saw a tweet, and I'm not there. Chandler Rome does a great job covering the team for The Athletic, okay? He covers the Astros. And he goes, Brian Abreu's warming up. It was 9-3. Yeah.
He tweeted that?
Yes. Now, are there dudes that just like to just mess around and, just play catch or something like that? Or no, not now. Thank you. So what are we doing?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm trying to think. When it was 9-3, Abreu,
I retweeted it. I was like,
I'm trying to figure out who was on.
Jim from The Office, like, what are we doing? Kiff.
Wow.
I don't know. There was no threats. It was 9-3, 6-run ball game. And it was I believe it was in the 7th inning. And by the way, props again to Hunter Brown, who was awesome, and fastball up in the zone. He's touching 99. He looked nasty. That's like the short spurt you want. That's actually what the Rangers are looking for from Heaney, Dunning, Perez, Bradford. No, Hunter Brown has better stuff.
Light years better stuff. All of those guys that you just said, big league pitchers. Absolutely. They are going to grind it out. You saw what Dunning could do. I think they kept him out there just a tick too long. It was like one of those things where you're like, wow, we're really running this. Let's keep it. Wow, he's getting strikeouts. This is great. And it was like, it was one of those cases where you sit there and if they take him out and the Rangers end up losing, well, why'd you take him out? He was hot. It was more of like, I gotta stick to my guns here. I think we've stretched this leash a little too long. But it's a total difference whether they were bringing Abreu in or not. They bring in Hunter Brown. He was throwing these like painted cut balls down and away, spin rate heaters top of the zone, and that banger thing. That was easy. Like the Astros hitters, who I think handle the speed ball pretty well in the zone, were looking overmatched. And it was quick innings. It was old Bugs Bunny, like 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out. 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out. It was unbelievable that the Astros have a guy like that to come in. So that's their starter to bring in. And the Rangers have the guys that they have to bring in. Martin Perez, awesome. Really good job of locating pitches. In the postseason, it's just not going to happen. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't keep bringing Martin Perez in to face Yordan Alvarez. You can't keep bringing Will Smith in to face Yordan Alvarez. Bring in one of your righties. I'm trying to think of who they should bring in. Anyway, it's not Leclerc, but you bring in a righty to face Abreu and Bregman. I know you don't want to go after Bregman. I see what Bregman did, but Bregman did that against a lefty. Like, you're not – the platoon advantage is gone with Alvarez. Why do they keep – and Tucker is struggling. So maybe they say, okay, well, we're neutralizing Tucker. If we put a righty in there, we might not be able to neutralize Tucker. But there's just too much – it's not an advantage against Yordan, and Yordan just keeps – he's just like, bam, shut up, RBI, bam, shut up, RBI. Like – It's wild to me that they keep doing it, and they keep every inning. They have another lefty up ready to face Yordan and Tucker, and Tucker's like, I don't want to face another lefty.
Well, the problem for the Rangers is they have one formula, and if it goes according to plan, they're okay, and if it doesn't, they're not. That's what it's looking like more and more. 6 innings from your starter. So Montgomery and Evaldi can definitely accomplish that. You don't feel like you have faith in anyone else, of course. They really don't even have anyone else that you feel like in a playoff game can do that besides Scherzer, but he's not there right now. So you have 2 guys to do that, and you do need 2 more wins in the series. You can pull that off. You can ride 2 starters. You have to win those games, right? Because now it's 2-2. It's still possible the Astros win, and then Montgomery and Evaldi do their thing again, and we have one of those Astros-like series where the road team wins every time. Likely? No. If the Rangers are down 2 games, they head to Houston against a team that's there all the time, that always, knows how to get the job done in a series. It's not likely, but they need 6 innings, and then they've got Sabores, Chapman, who gives everyone a heart attack, but they're still going to do it because there's no really great alternatives. And Leclerc. That's it. That's how it works. That's how you try and get a team that had one of the worst bullpens in baseball into the freaking World Series. And your dudes need to pop, which they've actually been doing. It just didn't happen in this one. So, hey, it's possible Justin Verlander next time around doesn't do well, right? Like, sometimes you can get to him early in a start. It's possible. I wouldn't be shocked if his next start, they get 4 runs off him in 2 innings and knock him out, and then they get the bullpen a little bit and they end up with 6 or 7 runs and they win 7-6. Like, there's 2 formulas here for the Rangers. Well, I was saying there's one, you got to get the 6 innings. That's if, like, you're normal. If your offense is going to get close to double-digit runs, then that's how you're going to get the job done. So this series is super interesting to me, but suddenly it does feel like the Rangers are true underdogs now, where it didn't feel that way heading into the series. It certainly didn't feel that way heading into Game 3. And now I think it's pretty clear that the Astros pitching advantage is real.
It's real. And I think I said it 2 or 3 days ago after the 2 wins, and they were going back to Arlington. This what I would say the middle part of their bullpen had not been tested. And now they're tested. Now the high leverage guys, it only extends past the 3, and I think the Diamondbacks will kind of run into this too. It's tough to get more than that out of the 3. If you only have 3 guys, it's tough to really mitigate through this legitimate lineup. And I just have a tough time seeing the Rangers. If Monty doesn't go 5, I think it's going to be a tough time. Spores hasn't pitched. Chappie hasn't pitched. Leclerc hasn't pitched. If you can get an inning and a third from all three of those guys, you're covering 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you don't have to push Monty farther than that. But to me, what you said, where it will lie tomorrow will be in Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander is not as good as peak Justin Verlander, but he will do what he did in the last game, hang around the whole game, just hanging around, looking for, okay, well, where can I land my pitches that I felt like in that game, low average, but as he went on in the game, his stuff, I don't felt like got better. His just conviction and command to the strike zone was a command to his zones where he wanted to throw it was spot on. So his stuff is not going to outstuff guys. And if you can get to him, I think it's going to be a shorter outing. I don't think 4 runs in 2 innings. I think it's going to be closer to like a 4 or 5 run outing for him in like a 4 or 5 inning outing, which will make it exciting because I think Monty's going to be more of like a 2 or 3 run guy. And then it will be the high leverage guys versus the high leverage guys, which will create, no matter what Hannah Kaiser says, it'll create a fun rest of the series.
That's a foul territory inside, not joke, but intel if you watched Thursday's show. So, player of the game time, Jose Abreu, take a bow.
Foul territory.
Why do you
player
like
of
him?
The game.
Because he gets on base.
Well, he doesn't stay on base for long when he's doing that. He has 3 homers this postseason that have gone over 430 feet. That was annihilated. Destroyed.
We annihilated Todd Frazier on foul territory for picking Jose Abreu for the home run title. He was just ahead of his time. There's so many things that I have to apologize to Todd about. He was ahead of his time. This guy's not just hitting wall scrapers, like you said. He has hit the upper deck in Minnesota. He has hit the upper deck now in Texas. Like, this dude is... And he was the same guy. You heard his teammates talk about it. He's the same guy all year. They felt bad for him, how he was struggling. Now look at him. Like, stop bringing Bradford in the game to face Jose Abreu. Like, he's standing there. He has less buttons than he did at the beginning of the season. It's not the same guy. He is feeling it. Feeling it.
You're right. Oh, and you know what else I thought about? The controversy entering this game that turned out to be pretty damn good for the team that was pissed about it. Oh, you don't know about this? I mean, but there was a key quote. So we covered this story because fans love this. The roof in Texas, in Arlington,
yes.
open. So many good parts of what happened here, okay? First off, when they started opening the roof, they played Here Comes the Sun. And before the game, Dusty Baker is in the press conference room, which happens before every game. The managers speak. They asked him about the roof, and he was pissed. And he said they thought that there was an agreement that both teams would not open the roof for this series. Now, Houston always likes to keep the roof closed because they feel like they have an advantage there. It's louder, of course. I don't know what the deal is with Globe Life. I know during the regular season, teams get to decide. During the postseason, MLB decides when the roof's open. And I was told by people there that it was what you would draw up as a perfect evening. If you're like, give me your perfect night, right? Whatever that looks like. I'm at a ballpark. I'm outside. I'm having a picnic. Like, what's the weather? And they were like, that's exactly what it was tonight. So there was no excuse not to open up the lid. And there was no rain in the forecast. But Dusty said he thought that there was an agreement. Now, I don't know what he was talking about. I don't know if he was referring to, if I was there, I would have asked the follow-up. Are you talking about an agreement with Major League Baseball? Because I don't think they do that. Are you talking about both teams saying they want to keep it closed? Like, that's fine. Both teams can say they want to keep it closed. And MLB can call and say, hey, cool, but we want it open because we're in charge of the postseason. And guess what ends up happening? The Astros scored 1 billion runs, and I think they were cool with it.
Open sesame. And sometimes I think So Dusty makes me laugh because like earlier in the season, he didn't know. He was like, yeah, I don't. Michael Brantley, I'm really not sure where he's at. And then later on, I remember AJ talking about like Brantley's like, I've just been rehabbing. Like, I'm not really sure what Dusty was saying. Like, there wasn't anything like nefarious. So maybe Dusty's like, yeah, I heard you guys talking about the fact I told Bochy we're going to keep it closed. He told me we're going to keep it closed. And Bochy's probably like,
works.
I don't care about the roof. Dusty's like, I care about the roof. I definitely do. They're opening it? What is this? It should be open. It should be open. And I love.
Yes.
Why do I love it? I don't know why I love the fact that we're talking about the roof being opened or closed. It is not like it totally.
This is not a discussion.
This is what you want. You want that thing open. You want the ball jumping.
Well, the baseball carried, because we just watched 6 hours of baseball. The baseball carried better in Arlington tonight than it did in Arizona. True or false? It wasn't just the way the ball came off the bat. I think the baseball, like when you measure a baseball going to the outfield, looked like there was more carry on the baseballs in Arlington than there was in Arizona.
I also thought the pitchers in Arlington were doo-doo, and I thought the pitchers in Arizona were way better. I thought Ranger Suarez is now, like a 0.01 higher than Sandy Koufax?
Mm-hmm. He is.
First 5 starts, that's pretty good.
No, minimum 5 starts for a postseason pitcher ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Like,
there's been a lot of years of ball.
There's been a lot of baseballing. And this baseballing, he has the record now. And Brandon Pfaadt needs to lose the moniker. Just like we need to stop saying, oh, the Astros are done. The Astros are done. Just like we need to stop saying the Ranger, Eovaldi, he can't do it. Postseason people show up. Brandon Pfaadt is on a short list of dudes that has shown up. Doesn't matter if he's out of nowhere. Doesn't matter if he's been up and down from the minor leagues or not. He has shown up, and Arizona now lengthens out a really good rotation in Gallen and Merrill and Pfaadt.
So I want to do one shout out, and then we'll do our quick thoughts while the music plays for the next one, Game 5 in Houston. Shout out to Fox's coverage, specifically. I mean, Ken Rosenthal crushes everything he does and all those interviews in the dugout. But one thing that stood out to me, Tom Verducci interviewing Dusty Baker in the dugout, and he has him in his same position, because usually the manager will like kind of go back and talk, and he's just out there like clearly just wants to be like hanging on the ledge watching the game, and they do the combo. And I tweeted about this. The answers were real. He went over like the full recap of the big inning that included the Abreu homer, pointed out the huge 0-2 that turned into a walk from Maldonado, which I also should shout out in that inning that started the rally going, and then talked about what the rest of the game would look like, and was spot on, because he's like, what are you going to do the rest of the game? He's like, Hunter Brown, like 2 innings, but like maybe 3, who knows if he does well. And he did, because he's like, some of my other dudes I've used already recently a few times. Like, it was awesome. That is exactly what we want for our in-game experience of an interview and watching from home. Now, Game 5, we got the big boys again. Monty, Verlander, whew. Jordan, this is one more chance to make a few more $1 million. You know, add another $5 million to the checkbook in the offseason, because this now is the start of your life.
The question is, are they going to get water out of the rock too many times? Have they squeezed Jordan Montgomery for all he's got? Like, he's given them everything he has. In my opinion, a guy that comes out every day, makes his 32 starts, now his 3 starts in the postseason, the way he's done it, he is their legitimate horse. So there is a added bit of pressure on him for tomorrow night's game. And I think it will dictate where this game goes.
And also, you know this if you follow FT Live pretty regularly, when you do things, it usually helps. Jordan Montgomery against Justin Verlander, 2 players that were not on their teams to start the season. They were on other teams, and they made trades, and it worked out. And there are a lot of teams at home that did not look into especially Montgomery, because he could have gone anywhere. Verlander at least had the no trade clause, but there are teams sitting at home right now that are like, damn, that dude would have looked pretty good instead of the guy that I threw out there in a key game. Looking at the Orioles. The Giants, the Reds, those teams.
It's an unfair game.
Playoffs. Exactly. It is unfair because some owners are trying to win and some owners are trying to make money and then win. Anyway, we do this all the time on Foul Territory. Actually, for Friday's show, we are at Borgata in Atlantic City for 2 minutes there if you want to say hi in person and see the show live. Otherwise, we'll do full previews of the next games coming up. So check back here, and then we will do post-game shows and maybe a watch party or two during the World Series as well. For my dude, Kratz, I'm Braun. Follow us wherever you want to follow us. If you want to listen to us too, just type Foul Territory into Apple or Spotify, and we will see you for the next one. Have a good day or evening wherever you're watching from around the world. Bye.